You're looking at that cat bed, the one you spent 2 weeks searching for, dropped a good amount of money on, and put in the warmest corner of the room, and your cat has never laid in it even a single time. Instead, they're lying right on the corner of the old sofa, or on the pile of clothes you just finished folding, or smack in the middle of your chest at 2 in the morning. You think it's totally random, that they just find a warm spot and lie down. Pick a soft spot and settle in. It isn't. Every single spot your cat chooses to sleep in is the result of an evaluation process they run in just a few seconds. And what they're evaluating isn't comfort. Here's what's actually happening. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 specific reasons why your cat chooses to sleep in that exact spot and nowhere else. Stick around for the 7th point. That's the one that tells you how your cat actually feels about this house and about you. If your cat has a favorite sleeping spot, and you've never understood why this video is going to answer that question, the first thing to understand is that comfort isn't the primary deciding factor in a cat's sleeping choice. It's the very last factor they consider, only after way more important criteria have been met. Feline behavior researchers note that cats will actively reject soft, warm surfaces in favor of harder, colder spots, as long as that spot meets their higher priority criteria for visibility and escape routes. Physical comfort is an add-on condition, not a foundational one. That expensive cat bed you bought that they never use it isn't because it's not soft enough. It's because the location you put it in didn't pass the very first test your cat runs before deciding whether to lie down. Your cat isn't looking for comfort. They're looking for safety. Only when they find safety do they allow themselves to get comfortable. Here's where things get really fascinating. Before lying down anywhere, your cat is running a spatial calculation, simultaneously evaluating the visibility, the escape routes, and the cover of that exact location. Feline behavior research documents that cats prioritize sleeping spots that satisfy 3 criteria all at once. The first criterion is a sweeping field of vision, being able to see as many corners of the room as possible. The second criterion is at least one unblocked escape route to the front or the side. The third criterion is cover from behind or above a wall, the back of a chair, a hidden corner, a low ceiling. This is a structure researchers call an optimal defensive position. The research here is honestly mind-blowing. Look back at that corner of the sofa your cat always chooses. You'll notice it overlooks the doorway, has its back against the wall, and nothing can approach from behind without being detected first. That's not a coincidence. That's a highly specific design. Your cat isn't finding a place to sleep. They're building a defensive position and then sleeping inside it. Cats don't just look for warmth when picking a sleep spot. They track and memorize heat sources over time and then move predictively before that heat source even appears. A cat's ideal body temperature while sleeping is about 7 to 9 degrees Fahrenheit higher than a human, which is roughly 4 to 5 degrees Celsius. Unlike humans, cats don't generate enough of their own heat while resting. They need an external heat source to maintain that temperature. Behavior research notes that cats learn the thermal cycles of their environment, which spots are warm in the morning from sunlight coming through the window, which spots hold heat from electronics, and which spots cool down in the afternoon. They move along this heat map systematically, usually before the temperature actually changes. Your cat changing sleep spots throughout the day isn't because they're restless or just like variety. They're following the exact heat map they've mapped out in their head of your house, a map they've built and fine-tuned over weeks of observation. Your house, the way your cat experiences it, is a thermal system that's constantly shifting by the hour. And your cat has studied that system way closer than you ever have. Let me know down in the comments, does your cat change their sleeping spot depending on the time of day? Every time your cat sleeps in a spot, they aren't just resting. They're marking their territory with their body scent, an active behavior performed in a totally passive state. A cat's scent glands are concentrated in several areas on their body, including their face, paws, and belly. While sleeping, especially when curled up tight or stretched out completely, these areas make direct contact with the surface and leave behind a chemical scent signature that builds up over time. Feline territorial behavior research identifies this as a form of passive marking. It takes way less energy than rubbing their face on things, but it's much more continuous and long-lasting. Your cat's favorite sleeping spot isn't just where they rest. It's their territory, established and reinforced every single day. That's exactly why they go right back to that same spot, even after you've washed the blankets, changed the pillowcases, or moved the furniture around. When your cat lies on your chest, they don't just want your body heat. They're marking you as a piece of their territory. Just think about that. When your cat chooses to sleep right on your body or pressed up against you, that's a complex decision, and warmth is only a tiny fraction of it. Human-feline bonding research documents that cats tend to sleep near the person they've categorized as the primary source of safety in their environment. Warmth is a factor, but it doesn't explain why a cat picks one specific person over somebody else sitting in the exact same room. And it also doesn't explain why they usually go for the chest or shoulders instead of the legs or belly. The specific spot on your body your cat chooses to sleep correlates directly with their level of trust. The more vulnerable they are while sleeping, the higher the level of trust they have in you. Your cat sleeping on your chest isn't because it's the warmest spot in the house. It's because in their safety map, it's the closest position to the most reliable source of protection they know. You're not just a place to lie down. You're a structural pillar of safety in that house, literally, in the way your cat views the world. Just let that sink in for a minute. When your cat suddenly changes a familiar sleeping spot or starts avoiding a place they've chosen consistently for months, that's not a random shift. That's data. Veterinarians and feline behavior experts consistently note that a sudden change in sleeping choices is one of the earliest behavioral indicators for three specific categories of issues. The first category is physical pain or discomfort. Cats will avoid spots that require climbing or postures that put pressure on an affected area. The second category is environmental stress, a new pet showing up, a change in daily routines, or unfamiliar smells in the house. The third category is a shift in their safety assessment of a specific area. Something in that space has changed in a way that only your cat picked up on. These shifts usually show up in their sleeping behavior 24 to 48 hours before any other signs become obvious. If your cat suddenly stops sleeping in the spot they've been using for months, don't just brush it off. Keep a close eye on it for a day. Not because something is definitively wrong, but because this is how cats give you a heads up before they have any other way to let you know. Your cat can't use words to tell you when they aren't feeling right, but they change their behavior, and their sleeping location is one of the very first behaviors to reflect that. Knowing this can make a massive difference. Point number 7 is what I want you to take away from this video. Look at where your cat is sleeping right now, or the spot they pick most often. They're telling you something extremely specific about how they feel about this house and how they feel about you. Feline behavior experts use sleeping choices as one of the most reliable metrics to evaluate a cat's level of safety and attachment to their environment. A cat sleeping out in the open, exposing their belly, staying close to their human, is demonstrating the highest possible level of safety. A cat sleeping huddled up, hidden away, far from people, is showing that their need for security hasn't been fully met yet. Distance and sleeping posture are a behavioral language that cats literally cannot fake because they have zero evolutionary reason to do so. If your cat sleeps tightly curled up in a hidden corner far away from you that isn't their personality, that's data about the environment they're living in. And there are incredibly small tweaks you can make in how you arrange the space and how you present yourself in the room to slowly shift that dynamic over time. Just let that sink in for a second. You don't need to ask if your cat is happy in this house. You just need to look at where they choose to sleep and actually pay attention to what's being said. Let me know down in the comments, where is your cat sleeping right now? And after watching this video, why do you think that is? So the next time your cat completely ignores that expensive cat bed and lies right on the corner of that old sofa, they aren't giving you a hard time. They're making a highly specific decision based on an evaluation system they've carried with them through thousands of years of evolution. Safety first, temperature second, territory running parallel. And you placed in the exact spot that their level of trust in you dictates. Every single spot is an answer. The only question is whether or not you're listening. Your cat chose you. That's no small thing. If this video changed the way you look at a totally normal cat habit, there is so much more waiting for you. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out.